Om. Namaste to all. We are here gathered to study some leadership lessons from Rama. So in the morning, I gave a same talk in Tamil, and I quickly realized that my plans are not gonna go according to what I wanted. I thought of having the part 1 and part 2 as 2-day talk, but eventually I ended up giving only half of the content, which means that we will have only half done today in this part 1, which imply that we will be able to extend this Rama Rasa for a month, for 4 weeks. So that is on the plus side, I hope. Especially for Rama Bhaktas, that is good news. Now there are some few outlines I want to give as to how this talk came about. So if we look at folks all around us, whether it is social media or even in office and things like that, you find them reading self-help books and then talking some big bombastic ideas from self-help groups. There is a big thriving business model with a lot of speakers, starting from John Maxwell to people like books from Napoleon Hill and things like that. A few years ago, we even had this author who wrote the book called Secret. There's nothing secret about it because everything is told in our Shastras, but they just take that and they partially digest and borrow the information, sometimes with credit, sometimes without credit, and they tell this is what it is, and they make a lot of money. So that is one crowd that believes. Even in India, we have I have some people uh, whose tweets I get to see because they follow me. It keeps popping sometimes. Do you want to see that kind of information? And it says that these people they put all these quotes, cutesy quotes, but same people won't have the intellectual honesty to go and look at our shastras because they are outdated according to them, old fashioned, old model, you know. And then there is also this idea, for example, someone like John Maxwell, who is actually a pastor. He's a Baptist pastor, and he takes all these leadership lessons from everywhere, spins them into some sort of like a Christian talk, and puts Jesus in the middle of it and makes it sound like Jesus is like all the superheroes rolled into one. When you don't find any evidence also of that in, so it becomes like a Christian marketing ploy also. So you got all sorts of flavors going on in the market. Now, on top of that, if you look at the Hindu crowd, there is this willful ignorance of wanting to know what is in the Shastras. Then there is also people who say, oh, Manu is bad, this is bad, that is bad. Oh, if you are reading Ramayana, you are outdated. If you are studying Mahabharata, you are crazy. That sort of thing. It's kind of like give you the feel that if you study them itself, you are a sinner kind of thing. This is the modern woke society that gives you this kind of feeling. Add on top of that decades of secularism. And then there is one more intrinsic nature of the Hindu, the uncharacteristic tamas. So if you look at the desert religions, you look at Christianity, even today you can see like, hey, they are very good in organizing, collecting money, propagating, that sort of thing. You look at the Islam, they are good in, if somebody says anything remotely negative anywhere in the world, immediately heads roll and that sort of thing. They have that characteristic trademark, what defines them. And what defines the modern Hindu? Sadly, one is deep tamas. The other one is an inferiority complex that we don't want to even call ourselves Hindu. We say, like, hey, we are secular. It has come down to that kind of sad state. Now, I hope the character who came yesterday doesn't come here and say, like, how do you tell that I am like that? When we make statements like this here, we are making a broad, generic statement across the society. We are not talking about individuals. Let's be very clear about it. When we say that people are not teaching their children, how do I know A or B is teaching their children or not? Am I telling that, A is not doing here, B? How do I even know that? I won't even know that. But people don't have this common sense. See, that's why I said this Thomas is shrouding it. So what happened when this article that is pinned was written? The idea was, look at all the top qualities what people look for in a leader, what these leadership gurus list. So I went and looked at the top 20 or top 30 or top 50, whatever qualities, and then I extracted the best of the best, because some of them were not relevant. Like if they say staying in touch with technology, well, that's maybe in today's modern leader, but it is not true for all times, right? Like, because technology, what you call technology, will be different in Rama's day and age. So I left those kind of things, and then I took this list and then mapped it to Rama. Now let's look at the reason. When you look at Valmiki, he also gives a list. Maybe another time we will go over that. There is a list of qualities, multiple places Ramayana. In fact, it starts in the very, very first chapter of Balakanda, that Narada says, Narada is being questioned like Valmiki, who is that person, that one person that has all these qualities? He asks like about 16 qualities and says, oh, you don't expect 16 answers, right? There's only one answer. It is none other than Rama. So Rama is the embodiment of perfection, that Maryada Purushottama. Whatever Maryada is there, he is the Purushottama for that. So it would have been easier to take this from that perspective, which we will eventually sometime in future we will. But here, the challenge we are trying to face is how to take the modern lens of how we interpret as leadership and look at Rama and see if he even measures up to that. And the interesting thing is, when you look at every single attribute what today's modern leadership quality is, Rama excels 100 out of 100 in every single characteristic. And interestingly, when you read people like John Maxwell and things like that, you will not find any Western character. They will give you one character for one personality. They won't even give Jesus for example for all the 30 or 40 different traits. We are not going to do 30 or 40, but we are going to do probably like a half a dozen today and then half a dozen next time, and we will extend it over a period of 4 weeks. Okay. So we are going to do like about 25 or 30, something like that. But if you really look at it, the qualities, every quality Rama is getting not only 100 out of 100, he is way beyond that. So what does that tell you? That tells you we are having this treasure trove on leadership. Still, we don't have the backbone. We need to bring some useless Western lens. We need to bring some unwanted Abrahamic ideology, and we need to bring all this and say like we need to bring in the secret and then tell this is the secret. Like all these secrets are there. So it is very important for us to I'm giving this preface so that you understand where and why this article was written, so that you will know the idea was not to go around taking Ramayana, glorify Rama for that. The idea was to look at all the characteristics what you and I should possess as a leader. And then we go and look at Rama. And then we come back to us. And then we apply. The problem also is if I bring Rama straight, of course, here everybody is a bhakta and everybody is a satsangi. So what happened? There is no problem. But normally, if you bring Rama first, what happens? Oh, you start Ramayana again. As if like we are. See, the problem with the work, another aspect problem with the work, you ask them, do you know Ramayana? Oh, I know Ramayana. Why did Rama do this? Oh, I don't know. Oh, do you know Bhagavatam, Mahabharatam? Oh, I know everything about it. Why do you think this character behaved this way? Oh, that's the only thing I don't know. So we know everything about everything except that when you ask a question, we know nothing about it. That seems to be the definition of the modern Hindu. Again, we are not talking about individuals. I had this experience yesterday only to be magnified today by another character who has been following me for a long time. And when I made these generic statements, somehow the ball hit too close to his home and he got very uncomfortable. He left the room and then he was frantically messaging the other mods and telling that how is this, why is this, and that sort of thing. Why is Sachidananda coming and attacking me? I am not interested in attacking anyone because I have no idea. What works for you or not, I have no idea. So, what is the purpose here? Purpose is this is the format we are going to do. We are going to look at one characteristic which is a leadership characteristic. Then we are going to say like what is important for us. And then we are going to look at how Rama handled that scenario or how he excels in that scenario. And then we are going to come back and say like why or how we can implement it in our life. If I told everything Rama did, Aganita Gunagala Bhushita Ram, I take one character and another character and another character and start telling about Rama, which are like, oh, you're telling all Ramayana again. Who wants all this Ramayana? Tell everything in nutshell. And the other problem we also have is, oh, that is Rama. Rama is Bhagavan. So I can't follow that. We have this easy excuse. But here, we are going to look Rama through the lens of a leader, a leadership personality. That means you are looking him only as a human being, not as a avatara or as Bhagavan. You are not going to do that. You are not going to look at him as the entire Parabrahman, Nirguna Parabrahman has taken the form of Rama, and you are not going to do that. So this makes this exercise of the next few weeks very relatable, and all qualities of Rama. Now you want to look at yourself and say like, hey, I don't have this quality. How do I develop this? Now, for you to develop that quality, you and I need an example. And what kind of example you need better than Rama? Nobody. So I already told you, all these so-called leadership gurus like John Maxwell give one example for one personality for each trait. But here you have Rama extolling all this plus more. In fact, I recall the emotion when I was writing this article. I made it as a two-part article, which we will have as a four-part talk. I was like tired of writing and typing notes after notes after notes for the uh, blog, because I told Rama one thing: there is no limit to your glory. I am glad that I could type it up and put all this encapsulated in one place so that people could go and read it, but there is no limit. And if, like I told you, I wanted to finish this entire two parts article in 2 weeks talk, but I realized today I can't do that. That was my personal arrogance. There is no limit to Rama's glory. But anyway, we will attempt to look Rama through the prism of modern leadership and profit from this. Okay, that's the entire exercise. So let's look at the characteristics one by one. Again, um, we will do one exercise. Once you get that one idea going, you will know the same format we are going to do. Okay. The first characteristic is likability. So if you want to be a leader, even if you are a Hitler, for example, you have to be likable, right? Hitler was likable by all the Germans. So he had a fan following, though he was having all evil ideas, right? So likability is an important aspect. But Rama took that even to another extreme. We will see that in a minute. So why is likability important? So if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a person of influence, you have to be connectable. You have to have, like in a democracy, if the prime minister is not coming from the largest party, how ridiculous it will be. So we have had in India some ridiculous experiments where a person with, like say for example, we had Devagowda, we had so many other people who had no majority to even rule the state. They became the prime minister. So the majority of the people had no connection with that person. So likability is what today's modern day and rule. We have the likability also. The Let's look at Rama for instance. Like in Ayodhya Kanda, you will find all the citizens of Ayodhya went straight to Dasaratha. They told, buddy, you've been warming that seat for 60,000 years of rule. According to what that 60,000 years mean, let's not get into that. It basically means something else. But 60,000 years of rule, it's high time you vacate it and give it to our Rama. Can you imagine the happiness in the heart of Dasaratha? At the same time, he got like, hey, I have been ruling all these years. Did you guys feel anything odd, any shortcoming in me? Why do you want me to go? They said, no, no, no. You are nice and all fine and dandy. That's fine, but we want Rama. So look at the likability of Rama. Okay, and then when he was asked to go to the forest by Kaikeyi's plot, and Rama is ready to go, half of Ayodhya is walking behind. Despite Rama's message not to follow, they are all following. So Rama stayed somewhere half in one place, and when they all were asleep, he walks in the wrong direction, and he then takes the chariot further. That way he throws them off the track because he is that likable. When he goes to the forest, starting from Sarabanga to Sutikshna and Bharatwaja to everyone, like people are wanting to be with him. Like say Sabari, for how many years her penance has been only to be with Rama. So just to have darshan is all they want. They don't care about what. So likability, is our personality that likable? Now, why is Rama so likable? I want you to keep thinking in the background. We will give answers to that, but why is Rama so likable? Yeah, because Ramate iti Rama, right? Rama means that one who brings you joy and happiness and attraction, right? No, that's all those wordplay meanings. Why is Rama being so attractive? Think about it while we will see that. And then he is so attractive. The best example, you know what, is from Shurpanaka. She wants to gobble up Sita. So Rama says, hey, protect your sister in law. Lakshmana was there at an vantage point. He chops her nose and ears, and she's bleeding. She goes running to Kara and Dushana. And here she is bleeding, and all she is saying, those two beautiful Sukumaras, those two beautiful, oh, what lovely eyes, what kind of sweet voice. Now Kara is baffled. You are bleeding. Who did this? I'm gonna go and kill. He is jumping up and down. He doesn't even know what's happening. And she is like as if she's drunk by the bliss of Rama's contact. Rama is that likable. Not only that, even Tara and Mandodari, because they are filled with sattva, right? So when their spouses were killed, they did not curse Rama. They said, this is Parabrahmam. This is Mahavishnu himself. Both of them knew. See, these are people who reveal Rama's secret avatara. They don't care because their equation has been changed, right? So they are like, I don't care if your drama is getting exposed, Rama. You are Parabrahmam. There are words to that effect that what they are telling exactly. This is Parabrahmam, both Tara. So is that the reason why Rama is so likable? He is Parabrahmam? No. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. Rama is the embodiment of Dharma. So when you and I embrace Dharma, see, remember, it is all about likability in our life. If we want to develop that likable personality as a leader in our life, you can immediately come and say, for all this leadership, come on, Sachidanandam, you are not understanding the situation. I am a single person. I have nobody to impress. Well, even if you are a single person, you have your senses, your buddhi, your manas to be guided in the right direction. So don't get confused that you don't have to develop that likable personality. So if you embrace Dharma, you and I become likable. As simple as that. They even tell in one in one of the instances when Ravana wanted to trick Sita by taking Rama's form. Every time he takes Rama's form, he gets only dharmic thoughts. So, what is the point here? Rama is Dharma. So, if you embrace Dharma, you will develop a likable personality. And that likable personality will translate because you are always bent on doing what is right for not only you, but what is right for that situation. So what happens, even if you are an opponent, they can't help develop a likable, be attracted to your likable personality. So your index of likability is not coming from your what is it like your looks, your charisma, your walk, your gait, your face, and things like that. None of that sort. It is coming purely from your gunas, and your gunas and karmas. If they are aligned with dharma, then you develop a potent combination of likability. Your personality becomes so likable. You could not have the so called desirable, attractive features, but when you look at your character, people say, wow, I want to be like you because you are embracing dharma and I don't embrace dharma as much. So everybody's nature, intrinsic nature, is to embrace dharma. So let us not forget that. Let's remember the importance of uh, embracing dharma to develop likability. Now, the next thing, next characteristic, organization, right? Like the talk framework is pinned on the as a blog on the top. So if you want, you can go and make a leisure reading. But the idea is to just develop a talk based on those points in that, so that you have a reference material also. I'm not literally reading that, but that is a good uh, handy tool to keep by. And that seems to be the format we have been using for a long time. Now, if you want to be a person of leadership, then you need to develop good organization skills. Now, good organization skills, now I am not talking about administration skills, I'm talking about how to organize stuff. Now, when you say organization, who is the first person whose name comes for organizing for the entire society at the best standards? Oh, we say Rama Rajya. That basically means Rama only, right? And look at Rama's ability to adapt. When resources are there, he taps into them. When no resources are there, he adapts to the situation. So he organizes, for example, with when Kakasura attacked Sita, he took a blade of grass and he made it into a weapon. Whereas when he took what is it like command of the forest, when he was in Chitrakuta, the minute he found Bharata and all those people are coming, he was very focused that people don't make it into a tourist spot and make it into a over exploitive situation. So he said bye bye and he went to Panchavati. So what happens in whenever resources are available to you, are you just gonna consume it because of your karma, or are you also going to be concerned about artha, or are you going to embrace dharma, which will take care of both artha and kama? So Rama chose the other path where he focused on only dharma, which included artha and kama. So it is very important to do that. And also, when Rama was leaving Ayodhya, he ensured that the vacancy is not left hanging, that Bharata is going to take care. That is the indirect assurance he got from Kaikeyi, which is also the same when Bharata comes to Chitrakuta. Rama asks him a whole list of questions that basically expresses his concern for the well-being of the citizens of Ayodhya. Same thing is what when Sita gets kidnapped, again he focuses on how do I maximize my resources. So he was searching on his own, he and Lakshmana, but they were caught by Kavanda. So when they released Kavanda from the curse, they got one clue that they need to go and figure out who this Sugriva is. And on top of that, Sugriva is told as a guy who is afraid and who is without any support, and to find him is so difficult. So Kabanda said, you go and meet Sabari, who will give you the exact coordinates of this guy, because this fellow is living in isolation. So when Sugriva is contacted, Rama first wants to win his heart. So what he says is, hey, I am going to be your brother. Let's do a Saptapadi, walk around fire. Let's make that pact concrete. And then what happens? He is able to help him first, but at the same time, he is able to take that entire organization. So you need skills to know that you have to, if you have to expand your team, you know how to expand your team, you know whom to send, you know what kind of person to tap for the team. For example, when different teams were being sent, they sent the largest contingent of people to search in the south, because that's the direction Ravana took. But at the same time, instead of giving the resources to, instead of giving his anguti, his ring, to Angada, who was the head, who was the prince, crown prince, he chose to give it to Hanuman. So when you are having a team as a leader, see, we also said whether you are an individual, you need to be a leader. Now, if you are a family guy, you still need to be a leader. Now, whether it is a husband or wife, they both are co-leaders. It is not like husband is above wife and wife is below husband. No, they are considered in a griha, they are considered as co-equals. In fact, for that matter, the grihini holds one level higher than even the husband from that perspective, from Shastra perspective. So we have to take that leadership. Now, you may be having a company, you may have few subordinates working with you. You are again in a leadership position. So, how you manifest your leadership position is something about your seriousness, how you want to tap into that, and what level you want to manifest that. Now, we are talking about tapping the right resources, right? So, when they were building a bridge, Rama tapped Nala and Neela because they were two natural engineers, but they never built bridge on water. But Rama tapped the right resource. So in your team, you need to have the right resources for the right tasks, right? For example, in our team, for example, we are running this club. Now, Atmaji came. I know he had some task probably. So I don't even know what happened because I didn't get any message. But I see Shashwatji is already there. I don't even have to worry. Somebody else is sitting there and taking care, doing mod role. So that is how the team is organic, right? So in an organization, you need to do that. And how are you able to do that? And you also see Rama's organization skills when it comes to war. That's probably outside Ramarajya. You can see Rama's organization skills to the maximum during the war. So here we are. Rama is demonstrating leadership, the way he organizes any task. But how is that all built? Let's go back to the same answer. Unfortunately, you may find it boring, but that's a fact. How is Rama's organization skills so superlative when you and I have been struggling for years together? We don't get that superlative feel because Rama is interested in uplifting and protecting Dharma. His only task is only around that. So when you are in the process of uplifting and protecting and organizing around dharma, all the things that emanate from it are superlative aspects. The world looks at it and says, wow, look at this guy. But what you and I did was merely align ourselves with dharma. So organizing skills is very important aspect in leadership, but it may involve you delegating to people. How do you know which task to delegate and whom to delegate, when to delegate? So many questions, right? So the foundation for the society, the real foundation of organization in a society and the individual, and encouraging the personality, right? So all that is centered, the centerpiece of it is what? Dharma. So when you put dharma at the center, all the other aspects are automatically taken care. The next quality we are going to look at, leadership quality, is leading by example. Take for example our current prime minister. Instead of him going and telling us lectures, what he does every Diwali, he goes and spends time with the soldiers. Now, nobody told before that, before him, nobody had that tradition. So he's not even copying something. So that's something true to his, he's aligned to that ideal. So he is able to set that example. So if next prime minister comes and he doesn't even spend any time with the soldiers, that will look very bad, isn't it? Right? So what happens? We are looking at an example how even the opponent is getting excited by Rama's example. We already referred to Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha, right, by Maricha. Rama's standard is so high that the examples he is setting in every aspect. For example, in war, when Kara and Dusna were killed in 1.5 Muhurta, like about what, 72 minutes or something like that, single-handedly, on foot, no weapon, no what is it, like a chariot or anything like that, setting the example. When Kaikeyi says, I told your father this is the situation, Rama says, don't worry father, I will go to the forest. Nobody asked Rama to go to the forest. Neither Dasaratha nor Kaikeyi asked. It was his own volition that he went to forest on his own, but he wants to set the example. So whether it is an example of kindness or courage or honesty or diplomacy or any quality, Rama is, why is Rama able to set that example and why we are not able to set the example? Rama is able to set the example because again same answer. What is it? Dharma. Rama is adhering to Dharma, and since you are also aligning yourself, your life with Dharma, you become the natural best. When you ask who is the best role model to example to give as a son, who do you give even today after thousands of years? You say Rama, because whatever Dasharatha wanted, even before he asked, he made it happen. Right? So if you want a son, you want son like Rama. Again, you want to sing. You go and ask the brothers, not only the blood brothers of Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, the non-blood brothers of Guha, Sugriva and Vibhishana, those three also will concur the same thing. There is nobody who excels the standard. Like now you can say like, hey, go and ask who is the best husband. You go and ask Sita. She will tell you that. Now you can say Sita is biased. Sita is probably doesn't have the experience like Ravana, Like in case of Ravana, he had so many wives, so all of them can put a poll and say like, hey, this fellow is or not, right? But that's not true. So the ideal person, and same way when we already saw Ramaraja as an ideal, same way as a friend, who is the example? Vibhishana has not even set his foot on the Indian mainland. He is still hovering in the air and he is wanting Saranagati. Sugriva is saying this is enemy's brother. We can't accept him here. Rama is busy convincing Vibhishana and about Vibhishana to Sugriva. Imagine if Sugriva is not wanting to follow Rama, what will have happened? He says, okay Rama, I am taking back my army because you are not listening to me. What would have happened? But Rama's influence is such that he is the best friend. He is the best example for warrior. We already saw that. Which warrior will say, tell me in all of history that you had the upper hand on day one. You let go of the opponent and say, go today, get yourself rested and equipped and come back tomorrow, we will fight tomorrow. Show me in the history of humanity, even if one instance was like that. So leading by example, again, only Rama is the only one you can say for that wonderful example. So, and leading by example is not an easy task. It is a burden. It is a burden, but it is a burden that you are willing to carry. Because you are not doing that, setting the example because it is cutesy or you want people to follow you or you want something like that. You are setting the example because you are aligning with Dharma. And when you are aligning with Dharma, the path is very arduous. It is not easy. You have to go through a lot of trouble before you even live up to, you measure up to your own eyes. So the standards set by the leaders inspire. Like you have a prime minister today, again, sorry to give an example, not trying to go political. You have a prime minister who is a workaholic. He is setting 3-4 hours sleep in a day. Guess what happens to his team of ministers? They want to, even if they don't want to be like him, even if they want their beauty sleep 6-7 hours, they want to make sure that the remainder of the time they work so hard. Right? So when you set an example, you raise the bar. You set the standard. Your spouse is going to look at you. Your children are going to look at you. Your friends are going to look at you. Your relatives are going to look at you. And you are going to cast a very, very positive influence on them. And that, my friends, is the power of leading by example. That is the leadership quality. But how did you get that quality? Oh, you just aligned yourself with Dharma. I know that this theme is going to be boring, but you will find this such a powerful common thread, because here we are not here to discover new 200 things. It is the one thing, but with so many facets. So isn't it interesting that all you have to remember is only one thing, that align yourself with Dharma, follow Rama. You are following the path of Rama, like Rama Ayana, the path of Rama. But you will have to reflect on it, introspect, align your life and elevate your life to those standards. And then what happens? You are following your Ayana. But your Ayana is also aligned with Dharma. So you are in effect following the path of Rama. So if I come and tell follow the path of Rama, then all the woke influence we have got will start reeking out, and they say no, why follow Rama, But if you look at from a perspective of leadership And when you understand that you merely follow Rama, merely follow Dharma, you are actually following Rama only. And when all citizens in Ayodhya followed Rama, what happened? They all attained Vaikuntha Prapti. So will you. The next quality we are going to look at is time management. Now, tell me one leader who will say time management is not an important quality. Now, Rama was known for being a stickler for time. So, when the right time comes, that's when he would make things happen. Okay. For example, when in Tatakavata, Vishwamitra told, hey, you know what, this lady is very strong, killer. Rama was like, maybe we will cut her hands and maybe she will learn a lesson and run away. No, she became more stronger. And as the fight was lasting longer and longer, it was already dusk. And Vishwamitra reminds Rama, look, your task is not an easy one. You have to fight a woman which is against your nature of dharma. But here, if you don't adhere to time, at night the Rakshasas will get more power. Your job will become more difficult. Why don't you listen and finish on time? That's all the reminder Vishwamitra had to give. Time, and immediately next two arrows went from Rama's bow, from Saranga, boom, that's it, khatam khatam. So what happens, this beautiful message of time management we get from Rama. Same way, when Dasaratha's predicament due to Kaikeyi's request, right? He doesn't, Dasaratha says, stay one more day. Go tomorrow. You want to go to forest, right? Go tomorrow. Rama says, no, the longer I stay here, the bigger becomes the magnitude of the pain. So you need to know when it is time management, it is not only timely execution of the job, but you also need to know when you need to do, what time you need to initiate, which sequence of actions you need to do. All this is part of time management. So you are looking here, if Rama was looking, let's say that Rama stayed like, okay, next month I am going to go. Now the news has already leaked. Now what will happen is there will be literally a civil war. Not even a civil war, there will be literally like a riot or a revolution to overthrow Dasaratha. In fact, Dasaratha wanted that. He says, this boy is too good. He should put me in jail and take over this Rajya. But Rama is not like that. We remember the common theme we have been having. The common theme we have been having is Dharma. Right? Same thing happened when Guha said, hey, stay here longer. Same problem. The longer he stays there, he risked the detection from people of Ayodhya. So he said no. So time should always also be understood. Time and space are together, right? We understand in modern parlance. So same way when Rama moved to Chitrakuta, when it was found out, he said space and time, right? Now people know, and Bharata also put a highway between Ayodhya and Chitrakuta. So the travel was also made easier. So people could use the highway and they could come straight to Chitrakuta. So Rama said, bye bye, I'm going to Dandakaranya. Same way, when it comes to time management, Rama was no hurry. He said there is time to kill Ravana. We got this 14 years. Maybe the first year or so, several months they were in Panchavati, in Chitrakuta. Then they went to Panchavati. Rama's most happiest time And Sita's most happiest time, there was no disturbance. They were having a great time. When you have what is it like service of seva of Lakshmana, what else can you expect, right? Five-star service from Lakshmana. So there was no idea, but the minute Sita was taken, Rama is wanting to go and search. He is desperately searching because time is of the essence. And they come in contact with what's it like our friend Sugriva. Sugriva doesn't share the same sense of timing. You know what he does? He says, look, I just got my rule again, my kingdom again. So he is so lost. Of course, it was monsoon season and whatnot, but our man was so immersed in fun and frolic that he forgot his responsibility till Rama had to send Lakshmana and give him a kick in the back and say, hey, what's happening? So there is an element of timing when time management. Same thing is there with Sita. When Sita meets Hanuman for the first time, that is just shortly after Ravana threatens Sita by saying, I'll give you 2 more months, accept me as your husband. So Sita gives 2 months time to Hanuman. But when Hanuman sets Lanka on fire and then comes back to see Ma Sita, she says, forget what I said. Time is now set to only 1 month. If Rama doesn't come in a month to rescue me, he will not find me alive. So time is something. So what do you understand? Time management is not like, oh, I said this thing, I said that thing. It is something dynamic. And that's what we learn from Rama. Of course, Rama and Sita are no different. That's why we take Sita's example also. But that is the point here. So again, if you look at Vali, when Vali, if you really use these arrows, right? See, Vali is stronger than what is it like even Ravana. The same astras are being used by Rama against Kumbhakarna, and these astras which were used against Vali don't seem to have any impact, any effect. So why did Rama use those kind of low grade arrow? Because Rama knew Vali still had some more time in his life, and he gives that extra time to the benefit of Vali so that he can cleanse the negativity out of his mind. So when Vali had his last breath, his mind, all the confusions, all the dirt, all the mala was washed by the grace of Karunasagara, Rama's explanations. So, time is of importance. And when you, as a leader, you want to understand the importance of, same thing when Rama is building a bridge. He takes 3 days for the bridge, for Sagara to come. He meditates and he fasts and things like that. This fellow is not going anywhere. He thought Rama is like some other normal guy. Then Rama took an arrow and he said, I'm going to dry up this entire ocean. Then immediately that fellow came running. Remember, Sama, Dana, Beda, Danda. Sometimes you have to take the stick. You have to wield the stick. That is Dandaniti. But anyway, here, when Rama is building the bridge, look at the efficiency of the team that built the bridge in few days. Every day, they build more distance than the previous day. Isn't that amazing? That again tells you when you are learning the lesson of leadership, efficiency is an important lesson as a part of time management. And that you get again from Rama. So what happens? The Rama could have also killed our Ravana on day one, right? We already saw that from a different context, like lead by example. But from a time management perspective, if Rama had killed on day one only, then what happened? What was his avatara rahasya? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, says Krishna, right? So he would not have removed the Moolabala Sainya of Ravana, because they would have surrendered after Ravana's death. So Rama would not have done his responsibility of Bhubara Harana. So Rama, there is a right time to do the right thing. Though you may be doing the right thing, if the timing is off, it may look like a bad thing. So that is the example you get from Rama, from the element of time management. Same thing with Agni Pariksha. I promise to take this as a separate topic another time. We will discuss this in detail, threadbare, because this is one of the favorite topics. So again, the issue in sum, the secret of Agni Pariksha is Bharata, because there are only a couple of days left. Rama is in Lanka. He has to go to Ayodhya. And then what happens? He has to figure out a way to resolve Bharata's problem. Because Bharata and Kaikeyi were abandoned by Dasaratha on deathbed. He said, I am giving up on you. And Rama did not want that. So to make Dasaratha take back his words, Rama is swallowing the alahala vasha of making Sita jump into the fire. That is the real secret. We will look at it in detail some other time, like I said. But again, it is a question of time management. Because after all, Sagara only, it took 3 days to come, and that too only with a threat. So if you are meditating on Brahma or Indra or somebody like the Shiva and things like that, how will they all come? But they all came in a second, the minute Sita entered fire, because they can't see Dharma being taken to such an extreme, right? So timely implementation is one aspect, and how do we put it back to our life? So again, same thing, when Rama sends, he could have sent Sugriva or Angada and all, but he knows the proven Hanuman Express, the supersonic, hypersonic jumbo jet, Hanuman Express. So Hanuman goes and delivers the message to Bharata just in time as Bharata was walking around the fire. So time and time management is a very, very important leadership quality. And what happens when you are doing projects, when you are in life, we do not one thing, right? We are doing 50 things. You just ask a mother, she will be doing 50 things at one time. For most guys, it will be like 50 things in a day, but it's usually sequential. But if you ask a mother, she will be doing 50 things simultaneously. She'll be cooking, she'll be talking on the phone, she'll be attending some person on the door, all at the same time. So how to do that time management? Because when you do one project, that project has a domino effect on other projects. So it is very important that you don't overshoot your time deadline that starts impacting the other processes. So time management is a very important quality, and we learn from the best of the best example, Rama. Now again, go back to the same theme. How is Rama able to do time management? Again, we have only one answer, because Rama follows Dharma. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. He is the embodiment of Dharma. So when you and I embrace Dharma, we will follow that. For example, let's say that there is a plane at 5 o'clock 5 o'clock in the evening. Now, if you say, I don't care what time the plane is, I will leave my house only at 4:30, and you are 2 hours away, you will not catch the today's plane. Maybe tomorrow's plane you are a bit early, right? So the thing is that but if you are following dharma, what happens? You put dharma will include all the aspects: being compassionate, being respectful, aligning yourself with timeliness, orderliness, with what is happening. Everything is part of dharma, right? Dharma is not just religion and you dump it in the side. Dharma includes, so all these small alignments of dharma will have a profound impact on our gunas. Now, once your gunas are also that deeply impacted, what will happen? It will express in your karma. So your guna karma transformation is happening all the time, trending towards sattva, right? You get rid of more and more of your tamas, and whatever rajas is there, it is only to support that sattva, and then you are aligned with dharma. Okay, so let's take a couple more examples. I know that we looked at a lot of qualities, and one of the important aspects of leadership is to appreciate the team members, to appreciate. How many husbands ever appreciate your wife? The maximum closest to appreciation voluntarily, not with a gun on the head. We should be ashamed. We should be ashamed. We come from a culture where appreciation is a core. Appreciation, thankfulness, gratitude, all are core qualities. So what happens? We don't appreciate. So the boys who grow up with this kind of culture, they don't say the wife has to take care of my needs. That is the mindset they have. They don't have this appreciation. And that doesn't go well with the woman who is equally educated today. Her expectation is, hey, I do so much hard work, at least you can appreciate. Right? So there is a strife in the family, and there is a kind of like a rift, and they are struggling. Look at Rama. Now let's look at Rama as an example. Rama is leaving Ayodhya because he wants to follow. When he is leaving Ayodhya, he gives salary for 14 years for all people in his direct employment. People who were his servants, his people who were working with him, all those people he paid 14 years salary ahead of time. Then he left to the forest. When Jatayu gave his life, right? When Jatayu gave his life, show me one person in the entire history of all mankind or all of existence. Rama does funeral rites for even a bird, and the bird attains moksha. You should know when and how to appreciate what they do. So same way, Rama appreciates Hanuman when he goes and comes back. See, when Sita saw Hanuman in Pattabhisheka, she thought, you know what, the best thing to do is to give him a pearl necklace. Hanuman ripped open every single pearl and saw there is no Rama here, I don't need it. He just threw that. We know that story. But when Rama got the great news through Hanuman that he went across the ocean, got contact with Sita, terrorized Ravana, gave him an ultimatum, and came back triumphantly. All he could do was, with tears flowing in his eyes, he gives him a warm hug. Now that warm hug is more valuable than if Rama said, hey, all this wealth in the universe is for you, Hanuman. You see that one hug, the value of the hug, only Hanuman can put a price on that because there is no price for that. Whereas to you and me, if Rama comes and gives us a hug, you say, okay, thank you, Rama, but I also have this big laundry list of things that I want. Right? Maybe that's why Rama is afraid and he doesn't want to come in front of us. So, the idea of appreciation. Now, look at this. Rama, when Sita's Agni Pariksha time, we saw Brahmaji come and sing what's it like glories of Rama. That didn't do anything. Shiva comes and says, hey, here is Dasaratha. The deal is with Dasaratha, right? Deal with that unfinished business. So that is taken care. And then our Indra comes and says, hey, can I be of some service? Can I also give you some blessing? So Rama says, all these Vanaras who were killed, all the hurt and pain of Vanaras should go away. Imagine, see, even today, 1971 war with Pakistan, what do you say? 91,000 soldiers of ours, of theirs were captured. We fed them for 3-4 months, and then the rate at which they were eating was sinking our nation, so we gave them back. Right? So if you look at the score, we didn't surrender and they surrendered 91,000. Of course, we lost a lot of soldiers in the process, both sides. But in case of Rama, for the entire war he waged with Ravana, what is the death toll on his side? 0. That is Rama's way of showing his appreciation that no one has to suffer for backing Dharma, for following Dharma. Right? And then the idea is like, see, one thing we have to understand as your aspiring leader, right? We are all here aspiring leaders. We are looking at leadership qualities and then we turn our gaze towards Ramayana because we found a hero with all the qualities there. So we are just trying to emulate that role model. Now, all of us have to understand as a leader that nobody can be independent. You go and ask all the people who are, if somebody is 18 years old, they say, I am independent. Somebody who just gets a job with a big money, oh, I am independent. Nobody is independent. That is your ugly ego that is talking. Because we are interdependent. And only by being interdependent, you can optimize your solution, so you start developing a respect for every small thing that happens in your life because it's somebody else contributed to that, right? So we also saw in the Q&A session multiple times we say that only in Sanatana Dharma we have this Pancha Maha Yajna because we have this Pancha Runas. We are indebted, so we do yajnas to kind of compensate that. Right? So when you start appreciating, if your spouse makes a nice thing, maybe your spouse is working hard and you are a stay-home mom, and just go and tell him, hey, I am thankful that I am staying home, taking care of the children. Same way, the husband should say, hey, you are not simply staying at home, you are taking care of the children, raising them with values, so it has to be mutual. So that is how you will grow. So it is not what the other person is saying or doing, it is what you do. So you appreciate others as a hallmark, as a true standard for leadership. And not only that, you are appreciating not with a motive in mind, like, hey, I appreciate this so that I will get something out. That is not appreciation. That is real cheap. Okay? That is real cheap. And that usually backfires because that is not, again, not aligned with Dharma. Right? Okay, let's look at one last quality which is related to appreciation, and then we will conclude today's talk. And like I said, the after giving the talk in the morning, I realized that I cannot compress all these glories of Rama or the ideals of leadership in just a short time. So this will turn out to be a three-part, four-part series. Okay. So the last leadership quality for today we are looking at is rewarding. Now, you should reward people for not getting your job done. You should reward them for what they have done right. And Rama, like we already saw that how Rama rewarded, right? Like say Hanuman got only a hug, right? If you ask the rishis, if you ask Bharatwaja, Sarabanga, Sutikshna, Shabari, so many other people, all they wanted was just a darshan. You ask Ahalya, Ahalya was already purified by her penance. But Rama's darshan gave a stamp of approval that she had already crossed the threshold of purity, right? Of piety. And that sort of that is the only Rama's mere presence was a proof that it was approved, right? So when the same way we already saw the servants of Rama got 14 years salary as another example. So again, in case of Sugriva and Vibhishana, let's take Sugriva first. Sugriva is hiding with his ministers in the cave, and Sugriva is wondering, he is very much afraid. He is not even sure what to do, where did this guy come from, how did he find, all questions going in his mind. Rama comes and walks 7 steps around fire with him and says, I am your brother from now on. And this fellow says, I have a small problem. What is it? Wali. Now, Rama says that's not a big problem, that's a small problem only. So, no, he says that is a big problem. So, he subjects Rama to 2 tests so that he can get the confidence. Rama humbles himself and still does that. And then only after giving the kingdom, see here again is a case where Rama first rewards Sugriva and then only expects the work from him. In your case and mine, we can't do that. You give the salary to the person and then you tell them, hey, come and work. That's it. They will disappear. So we are not in that league. But again, the importance of rewarding everyone is very, very important. Right? Rewarding the person, rewarding is a very, very important leadership quality. Why rewarding is important is the people in the team feel important. Somebody is compensating for the amount of efforts I am putting. And it also leads you to build loyalty. In the relationship, there is a loyalty. Right? Now, if you are, for example, a husband and wife, right? Your simple reward could be following dharma. Now, there is a person, I read this incident somewhere a few days ago. There is this guy married for in America, again in India also same thing is happening, but same it's happening around the world. So this guy is married for about 25-30 years, and then the wife finds that this guy has been cheating for the last several years. Now, grey divorce is a big thing happening in it's the fastest growing segment of divorce in, that is people who are very old getting divorced in US is the biggest trend. Now, here the reward of a spouse who is so loyal is being rewarded by disloyalty and infidelity. Again, going back to the same answer, following dharma, everybody could have been happier. But that's not so. So we look at this situation when it is like a job situation, people may want a monetary um, uh, compensation, whereas it may be a suitable policy or a personality a change. So whatever is the reason, now if you are going to give them a reward for pushing somebody to do some task, that would be selfish, right? Like if I give you a bribe and say like you do this and do that. But if I give you a reward for you achieving higher standards of adhering to dharma, now that can be motivational. Isn't that true? So there is a very fine line between us pushing our selfishness as a bribe to others and make them do things, or you creating an ecosystem where people rise up to higher standards and you are thus motivating them. So, what we have seen today is some of the top qualities of leadership, how you and I can become a leader, how our life as a leadership is revolving around these standards of adhering to dharma. At the same time, we mapped all these qualities with Rama and his life, and we found that he has set the golden standard for every single trait. Every single trait, what the modern lens or the modern list of leadership, Rama is matching that and beyond. So, what really we need to do is obviously go back to Ramayana. As simple as that, right? So, we will have to um, understand all these qualities, what we discussed, are for our personal introspection. Once we start introspecting ourselves with these qualities and experiences of Rama, then we ask the one obvious question: how can I implement it in that particular aspect? For example, if you want to lead by example, then the first question is, before you even want to lead by example, you are going to ask the question, whom are you going to lead? What kind of qualities are you going to lead? Are you going to lead? Which are the qualities where you already have strength, which you need to take it up one more notch and you will be the role model? Which are the ones where you are lagging behind so much, where your improvement will be most obvious to everyone? Let's say if you are a person who is getting you are a very short tempered person. Now you start working on your temperament, and then what happens? You start becoming a good natured, sweet natured person. What will happen is, people knowing you for a long time, they will look at you in awe. What did this fellow do? How did he have such a magical transformation? So that is the crux of leadership. That you saw the list, you saw the role model and the golden standard. Instead of taking the golden standard and then analyzing the characteristic, we have taken the characteristic which everybody is so bent on classifying as a modern trait. We just looked at Ramayana and we found that all these are very ancient, great qualities. And the simple answer, how you can develop all these qualities and much more, is merely aligning yourself with Dharma. With that, we'll conclude this week's part. We will continue this talk next week and the upcoming couple of weeks, so that we have a continuity of thought process. With that, let me put a close. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Har Har Mahadev, Vande Mataram.